Akshita, this was clearly becoming a big debate, but it looked like all was over and it's coming back to haunt him. And while Akshita joins us for a perspective on this, Ranveer Singh will also tell us about what the Maharashtra police is planning on. Akshita, over to you first about what this actually has happened.
So let's just re-jog the memories of our viewers, Pooja. As you pointed out, this was the big talking point weeks ago, and now it's back to haunt Ranveer Singh, as he's going to be issued summons formally and expected to appear before the Chembur police by August 22nd. He's out of town currently, so in a few days from now, we're hearing next week he's going to be back in Mumbai. That's when this summon will formally be issued to him. But let's re-jog your memories about the FIR that's been filed. This was a Mumbai-based NGO that had approached the Chembur police with this particular complaint. And essentially, based on the complaint, the police registered an FIR where they spoke of a number of sections. And this may sound ridiculous, but these pictures of Ranveer Singh posing nude, based on which a complaint has been filed, the FIR actually mentions sections which talk about gestures intended to insult the modesty of a woman, that these pictures hurt the sentiments of women, and that it's obscene. Those are basically the charges against Ranveer Singh right now. This NGO claims to speak for women in all and has said that this hurts the sentiment of every woman and also outrages the modesty, intends to outrage the modesty of a woman. How? Because Ranveer Singh has posed nude. Obviously, it triggers a huge debate also, Pooja, about how clearly India is not ready for this kind of artistic freedom. Ranveer Singh is facing the brunt of it very clearly, and it looks like he'll have to appear before the police now as well.
And also, Akshita, whether there's always been a certain acceptance if a woman would pose nude or if a woman actor would be participating in such photo shoots, all appears well at that point. But a male actor doing that suddenly seems to become legal trouble. Divyesh, you tell us what exactly is going to be likely the mode of investigation here. The cops have taken notice of this FIR while multiple FIRs have been filed across the country, not just in Maharashtra.
Well, Pooja, the FIR mentions three sections, 292, 293 and 509. So 292 stands for obscenity and sale of obscene books. Other than that, 293 stands for sale of obscene content to youngsters. And 509 stands for gesture or act insulting modesty of a woman. So these are the three sections applied. Other than that, the non-bailable sections which have been applied against Ranveer Singh are under the Information Technology Act, because according to the complaint filed by the NGO at Chembur police station, they found this content on social media, and that is why this particular FIR has sections of Information Technology Act added against Ranveer Singh. As of now, the summons haven't been issued, the notice hasn't been served. Ranveer Singh is out of town, but he has been contacted and he has said that he'll be returning on 16th of August. That is when police plans to give this notice to Ranveer Singh, asking him to appear before Chembur police on August 22nd. After that, he'll be questioned, his statement will be recorded, and following that, police will decide the further course of action. This is just a first information report which is being filed on the complaint of the NGO, and the further action, the further procedure will be decided only after the statement of Ranveer Singh is recorded by Chembur police. Pooja.
Divyesh, please stay on with me, because in the month of July, for a magazine, actor Ranveer Singh, who's actually known for his all sort of experimentation with his attire, with his clothes, whether it's at the airport, in the films, there was shock and awe when there was a nude Ranveer Singh, aesthetically also shot with these pictures. But Akshita, there was a shock and awe clearly. There was innovation, there was experimentation, but also because it was a male actor that led to, can we say, becoming a debate. But, when we look at the pictures on a carpet with the rose petals and the debate that followed over it, how do you think this is going to be taken now? Because in film industry or in magazines, there have been many images earlier as well. Ranveer Singh doing it suddenly caught people off guard.
You're right, Pooja. We've seen male actors even experiment with this before and almost every single time face some kind of backlash or the other. You also made a comment earlier about how sometimes it's acceptable for women actors and not for male actors. I don't necessarily agree with that because very often you see on social media women being trolled so mercilessly for similar pictures. So it's quite clear that as far as 21st century India is concerned, we're still not ready for these kind of bold pictures, are we? Whoever it is, whoever the subject is here. And the reality is that if you look at this complaint, for example, the NGO which has approached the Chamber Police says India has a good culture and that's why these kind of pictures are unacceptable. Can you actually believe that that's the kind of words that are being used, and there is an investigation on the basis of that against Ranveer Singh right now for these pictures that he posed for. So it's clearly, a bigger debate that comes up here. But what's very, very clear is that Ranveer Singh right now is going to be facing an official police investigation for these pictures that he's posted. As you pointed out, he's always quoted controversy for his fashion sense. It's always been edgy, it's always stood out, and very often it's of course been opined that as a country India hasn't been ready for this kind of an actor, for this kind of a brand or for this kind of a fashion sense, let alone pictures of him posing like this for a very, very popular international magazine. We'll see how really this plays out, Pooja, but as I pointed out, the larger discourse right now will be for all of those who continue to maintain that their sentiments are hurt and say that every woman's sentiment is hurt because of pictures by Ranveer Singh.